and we will send a link out to everyone after the call. So I'm Drew Finkel. I'm an application specialist here at Bluebeam Software. Angela is application specialist as well, and she'll be helping answer all the questions. So I'm really excited to show off some of the great new features to you guys. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about Bluebeam and our development process for these new releases. So Bluebeam Software, we're not your typical software company. We try to push the limits of the world's most document-intensive industries by creating intuitive PDF-based digital markup and collaboration solutions. So our approach to development is actually really simple. We pick our customers' brains, we engage in ongoing conversations with them, and we walk through their projects to understand their workflows. Our solutions evolve as our customers' needs do. The idea that we have is to keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening in the AEC industry and constantly push the limits of what's possible. So Revu streamlines processes throughout the entire project lifecycle. By viewing, editing, and sharing documents quickly, you can keep your projects moving forward with less idle time spent waiting around. With Bluebeam Revu's powerful PDF creation, markup, and collaboration tools, customers are able to accelerate all stages of a project from design review all the way to the closeout of facilities management. Okay, everybody, it's time for the moment that you guys have been waiting for. What is new in Revu 2015? So with Revu 2015, we've really set out to make it easier to view, edit, and share project documents with teammates in the same office or across the world. This starts with 3 new batch processing features. So first off, we have Batch Slipsheet. It's going to automate the process of keeping complex file sets up to date, allowing users to append, prepend, or replace, which we call slipsheeting, existing page content with new file revisions. Next, we have Batch Overlay, which is going to automate the process of creating overlay comparisons between multiple pairs of files. Next, we have Batch Comparison. Batch Comparison has been enhanced with new auto-matching functions found in Batch Slipsheet and Batch Overlay, and it also has some overall UI improvements as well. Next, you guys may be familiar with Sets. That enables you and your team to navigate a large collection of individual PDFs as if they were a single multi-page document. But with Sets 3.0, we've introduced some really cool new features. So first off, the new version of Sets can now be added to custom categories that will let you that you can arrange in any desired order. You now have the option of revision, slipsheeting, and filter enhancements. And lastly, there's some performance enhancements as well. Our next feature that we've added is Cloud Plus. It's a new markup tool that combines the functionality of the cloud and callout markups into a single tool. It's going to save you a couple clicks, and it's going to make it so that there's only a single markup that's going to view in your markup list. Next, we have one of the most highly requested features of all time, and we finally released it. It's Sketch Tools. It's a suite of new markup tools that allow you to quickly create polygon, polyline, rectangle, and ellipse markups to exacting measurements based on your PDF calibrated scale. It's not going to be replacing your CAD, your AutoCAD software just yet, but it's a great way to document site information to scale on your PDFs. We also added a document toolset scaler, which enables markups to automatically resize precisely and proportionately when used on documents of different scales. This is going to eliminate the need to create separate tool sets for working with different scales. Additionally, all the group markups now resize proportionally in Revu, regardless of the scale setting. Next, we've enhanced Spaces. At its core, Spaces allows you to sort and report on markups based on user-defined zone that they reside in. With Revu 2015, you can now copy and paste the Spaces across other pages and files. You're going to be able to create area measurement markups directly from Spaces, and you're going to be able to add hyperlinks to and from Spaces placed in the document. Next, we've updated Capture. With Capture 2.0, you can now include video with audio with your camera tool in addition to images, which will be huge in improving your team's communication of site issues. The PDF summary view also has been reformatted to feature capture images more prominently, and it's now possible to see which markups contain capture media from within the markups list. Finally, Studio has also had some great updates. First off, that we now have Studio end dates. They can be scheduled. There are new shareable project links, so you can now share a project file with anyone via a Studio link. Project folder permissions can now be set on a per folder basis, And now you can update a project file from a session without finalizing that session. I know it's a lot of things, so what better way to show it than do some Review 2015 new features in action. So, into the demo. So, throughout the project lifecycle, there's bound to be multiple revisions, and now you can manage them more easily with Revue's batch features. So first off, we are going to start with batch slipsheet. So oftentimes when revisions are given, you're going to need a way to transfer your comments onto a newly issued drawing. In Review 12, you could manually slip sheet individual drawings from the Thumbnails tab, which was great if you only had 1 or 2 sheets that needed to be replaced. But what do you do if you have 50 or 100 or even more sheets of revisions that need to be updated in your drawing set? So with Review 2015 Extreme, all it takes is a simple File, Batch, Slipsheet, and I'm going to add in my original files here. I'm going to add in my revisions. Then I'm going to want to tell Revue how to identify the matching documents. I can do it by file name and page index, page label, page region, or I can do a manual correlation if I don't use any of the traditional naming conventions. I'm just going to keep the defaults here today. Then I'm going to click on Match. And once I click on Match, Revue is going to show me how it's matched up all the sheets. I can edit these matches as I need to manually, or I can choose whether I want to replace the original pages, or I can insert the revisions before the originals and then copy over the markups from the original pages to the revised pages. So I'm going to make sure that the copy markups are from the current pages to the revised pages, and I'm going to camp the current pages with superseded. I have my screen resolution changed a little bit for WebEx. This is why that was covered up. So now I'm going to make sure that the markups are unflattened before this copy goes over. So now I'm going to click OK here, and you'll see that in just a few seconds it's going to run this. And Revue is actually going to stamp all the old sheets with a really large superseded stamp so that everyone knows which sheets are the new ones and which ones are the old ones. So here's the summary that I have here. It's a report showing what Revue did during the batch process. So this report can be saved as a PDF to my folder here. So I can reference it later, or I can send it out to other team members. And what's really great is that the PDF report is hyperlinked, so it's easy to access the slip-sheeted files. So here's the revised sheet, and here's the current page. And you'll see that it has a nice, big, superseded stamp right on it there, so that we know that it's the older document. So as you can see, batch slip-sheet is going to save you a ton of time compared to manually slip-sheeting your documents. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit. So another thing that is a very common thing to do during the construction process is the overlay pages feature has been a popular way to coordinate between disciplines or to see the changes in revision drawings. But historically, this has all had to be done one coordination or revision at a time. However, with the introduction of batch overlay in Revue 2015, you can now select multiple files and have Revue run the overlay all at once. It's going to save you from having to spend the time to overlay individual pages manually. For example, let's say that you just received 5 sets of revision from the architect that you want to overlay. So just like we did before, File, Batch, and Overlay. I'm going to click in here to add my original pages. Going to add in my revision pages. And then I'm going to click on Match. So once I click on Match, the window is going to appear showing which pages will be overlaid. Just like the regular Overlay Pages feature, you can tell Revue what colors to make each file in the overlay. In this case, I'm just going to keep the defaults red and green. Going to click OK. And now Revue will overlay each pair of PDF files and create a separate file showing the overlay. Revue will also display a summary report showing which documents were overlaid and what the final document is called, just like before. So the revised, the current, and here's the overlay document as well. So anytime that the two documents are the same, it shows those black lines. Anytime that there's any type of difference, it's going to have a green or a red depending on which drawing it is. And over here in the layers section, I can actually turn on and off those specific layers so that you can see where they are on top of one another. So next, a similar feature to that, but another extremely useful feature, we have batch compare documents. So sometimes when you're comparing revision, you just want to know what's changed between the original and the new sheet. And that's where batch compare documents comes in. An existing feature of Revu, it looks at sets of sheets and clouds all the changes that it finds. However, with revision 2.0 in Revu 2015, it now auto-matches revisions and originals just like batch overlay and batch slipsheet, making it even easier to get the comparison you want. So I'm going to go to File, Batch, and do Compare Documents. Going to add in, you guys are familiar with this workflow at this point, add the originals, going to add in the revisions, and I'm going to click on Match. Just like with overlay pages, a window will appear showing what pages will be compared, and I can adjust these pages as I need to manually. If it didn't match them up correctly, I can always click on these arrows and move them up and down if I need to. So Revu is going to compare each of the PDF documents and create a separate file showing the comparison with all the differences clouded. Revu also gives me, again, that summary that I can create into a PDF. Again, all the things are hyperlinked. I'm going to have here's the revised page, the current page, and here's the comparison document that has that area clouded. Click on that again. This is the area that's clouded again. So back in this report, you can see a summary of the total changes found in the batch, along with many changes were found in each document. I can quickly open these documents with the hyperlinks in the report. It's a really quick way to cloud revisions between documents and see how many changes there have been. So those are some of our new batch features. Another great feature that we came out with in Revu 2015 is our improvements to sets. So have you ever tried to manage a PDF document that has a lot of pages? Having a large multi-page PDF can make the file cumbersome to work with, since that file can be very big. Sets helps to remedy that problem by allowing you to view multiple individual files as if they were one large document, while also maintaining the lightness and flexibility of having individual files. When you first create a new set in Revu 2015, I'm going to click over here to get into our Sets menu. When I first click on this here, a warning will appear saying that a set created in Revu 2015 will not be able to be opened in earlier versions of Revu. If you're opening up an existing set from Revu 11 or 12 in Revu 2015, you want to make sure that you have a backup in case anyone needs to access the set in a previous version. When we come out with some new features, sometimes they're not back compatible. I'm going to click OK here. And I'm going to add in a set. With Sets 3.0, you can add files to a new set, and you'll be prompted to assign categories to your sheets, allowing them to be sorted by discipline or by naming convention. A category template that conforms to the AIA standards is included with Revu 2015, but you can also create your own template on your needs or edit the existing template. So I can edit as many things as I want to in here, but this one's set, so I'm going to keep it as is. So I'm going to add in the set that I have here. Select all of those documents. I'm also going to add in some revision files that I have as well. So what's great is that using sets, I can also set up filters that will tell Revu which sheets are revisions in the set. Then that's in the advanced menu here. So for this one, I'm going to have the previous revisions. I'm going to have a nice cross out, and I'm going to stack those revisions on top of one another to make it so that it's a lot easier for me to navigate. I'm going to copy the markups over to the newly added revisions. I'm going to make sure that all of the markups are uncopied, and I'm going to stamp the previous revisions as superseded. So I'm going to click OK here, and it's going to confirm the markups, that these are the matched pages. From the old sheets, into the new set. If you don't want to copy over your markups, I could just hit skip, but I'm going to click OK to show you how the markups copy over. So just going to take just a couple seconds for this to do. This is I believe it's a 30-something page set that it's creating. So pretty quick for it to be able to do all of these things here. So now you can see all the individual files in the sets panel as if they were one document, and they're sorted by the categories that I set up before, with the general here, or I'll get to the other ones in a sec. And I'm going to switch it over here. I can do it in the thumbnails tab, or I can do it as a list. So this way you'll be able to see there's the category, there's the structural, and there's the architectural. I like it more as the thumbnails tab, so I'll keep it as that for now. So I'm going to open up this A201 document right here to show you. So here is, if there are revisions to the drawing, Revu has arrows under the sheet that allow you to flip through the previous versions. The large superseded stamp, you can see right here, is placed across the sheet to make it easy to tell that this sheet has been updated with the newer version. Pretty hard to tell that this is not the older version with that big stamp on the front. And then here is the revised version with all the markups copied over. Another great feature from Sets 3.0 is the ability to run document comparison straight from the Sets panel itself. All I have to do is right-click on the sheet, and I can do a compare document or an overlay pages on any of the documents that I select. Sets 3.0 makes it easier than ever to view, organize, and utilize your single-page PDF. So now that we've got our files organized, let's talk about the enhancements to the tools that we use to mark them up. So with this document here, when reviewing a drawing, two of the most commonly used markups are the cloud and the callout. I'm going to open up this one right here. There we go. Are the cloud and the markup, or cloud and the callout, I'm sorry. Before Revu 2015, you would have to create each cloud and each callout as two separate markups. Here's our cloud, and then here is our callout. Zoom in so that we can all read it. You know, not too difficult to do, but it still took 2 steps. But now you can create them both with a single click. It's going to save considerable time and spent on extra clicks throughout the life of the project. Considering your project review may have 100 comments, that could be a lot of time saved. So you can find Cloud Plus in a few places. First off, we have it up here in the markups, shapes, and then in the Cloud Plus. We also have it down here in the bar right here. You can go and just do Cloud Plus, or as you saw, there's a little K right next to it. There's a hotkey for K. You can go right to it. I personally like the hotkeys. It's a lot easier to do. Another great benefit to Cloud Plus is that the markup list is only populated with a single item instead of 2. So this is a huge bonus when you're looking through the markups list to identify relevant comments. So now we have Cloud Plus, and they are all together, rather than a cloud and a callout separately. So moving right along, we're going to talk about our new sketch tools. This is one of the most requested review features. It's the ability to sketch to a specific scale, and in Revu 2015, this request is now a new feature. So with sketch tools, you can now create polygon, polyline, rectangle, and ellipse markups to exacting measurements based on the scale of your drawing. There's no guessing required. So once your document is calibrated, adding anything to this drawing is as easy as pie. So in this kind of drawing, if the contractor wanted to put in where their plan trailer was, before they would have to go into shape and just add a rectangle to as close to the proper dimensions as they wanted to. But now with Revu 2015 and Sketch Tools, we can go up to Sketch. We're going to do a rectangle sketch to scale. And if we know that plan trailer is 20 by 50, all I have to do is click, and it's going to give me the width of 20, and I'm going to do a height of 50, and there we go. I have a 20 by 50 foot trailer. If the trailer happens to be at a different angle, I can angle it as well. And another great feature with Sketch Tools as well, opening up the Properties tab over here, I can actually I can set that I want to put a caption. I can call it my plan trailer. Spelling, always good. And I can even rotate the caption. So now I have plan trailer and it has the total square foot. Perfect, easy, simple, and done. So Sketch Tools isn't going to be replacing your CAD software, but it's a great way to add site information to your drawings at scale, and it's really, really easy to do. So another feature that we added is our dynamic tool sets. So it was a really time-intensive process in previous versions of Revu. It was the task of resizing tool sets for use on documents of different scales because a tool set created on a 1/8 inch equals 1 foot document, it just wasn't sized properly on a 1/4 inch equals 1 foot document. But now with Revu 2015, the dynamic toolset scaler enables markups to automatically resize precisely and proportionately when used on documents of different scales. This is going to eliminate the need to create those separate toolsets for working with different scales. So I'm going to open up my electrical plan. I've already set the scale on the drawing to reflect the scale shown on the plan. So the scale on the plan, 1/8 inch equals 1 foot. I also have this viewport over here, and it's 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. I'm going to show you over here in my viewport. So here's the 1/8 inch equals 1 foot, but down here in my electrical room, it's 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So because we have two different views at different scales in this drawing, I have this viewport set up. So I also set up a nice tool set that actually has that same scale built in. So here's the scale. The 1/8 inch equals 1 foot tool set is what it's set by default. So when I don't have that on, I will drag out a nice toilet into the drawing area. As you can see, this is that one size. I drag it all around. It stays the same size. But when I turn on the scaling, now I bring out the same toilet, same size, but when I bring it into that viewport, it is going to properly scale, and I can easily drop that toilet right into the electrical room. Maybe not the safest, but it's a good example. So in addition to resizing individual markups, all the group markups, I can also make those resized proportionally as well, regardless of the scale setting. Now all of the custom tools that have been created can be reused no matter what size the next drawing may be. So as the project moves closer to completion, the often painful process of punch and back checks begins. A couple of the feature enhancements in Revu 2015 can be used to eliminate redundancy and increase accountability and productivity in this process. So I'm going to open up these two drawings over here, my A201 and my A202. Open up my Spaces tab as well. So as you can see, I've already created a few zones with multiple rooms in them. So I have Zone 1, or Zone A, Zone B, and Zone C. And in each of those, I have some individual spaces that I've set up. And whenever I click on them, they highlight on the page over here. With Spaces 2.0 in Revu 2015, I'm now able to copy and paste my spaces across other pages and files. So I'm going to click on Zone C, hit Copy. This can be extremely helpful. And move this over here. Go to that exact same spot, and I'm going to hit Control-Shift-V, which is my paste in place command, and it is going to copy that zone right on top of where it was on the other drawing. Control-Shift-V is the paste in place command. So this is extremely helpful when dealing with high-rise office buildings that have the same floor plan on multiple floors, or if you just have to copy spaces between different disciplines. So in addition to copy and pasting spaces, I can also delete rooms within a zone without deleting the entire zone in Revu 2015. So I can just click on that and delete. So, and also as I hover over these rooms, over here, you'll notice that I have a green hyperlink symbol. I can also create a hyperlink directly from a space or select the space when using the hyperlink tool to quickly link sections of the drawing together. So if I know that this area right here, I need to hyperlink it to this detail, now just by clicking on that, it will take me right to that space. And if any of you are taking measurements, you'll be happy to know, happy to hear that you can now generate area takeoffs directly from the space. Right-click on here, and I can create an area measurement. Very, very easy. So Spaces was initially designed to allow you to better track your markups within a defined area of your project, but now it's going to allow you to eliminate the duplicated efforts of having to create separate area measurements and hyperlink views in addition to spaces on your document. So one of the last little bits that going through your workflow is the punch and backcheck process. And in that, we have our new features for Capture. So updated in Revu 2015, Capture 2.0 allows you to add video. So we're all used to the regular Capture here, where you can place pictures directly in and have it as a little thumbnail view. But now with Capture 2.0, we allow you now to add video and audio to your markups and play it back directly within Revu, making it really easy to show off where electrical work has been left unfinished in the hallway. I'll show you a video here. You're not going to be able to hear the audio, but that's just because it doesn't come through on WebEx. But right here, they're talking about an exposed conduit up at the top here. Another great feature is that now the Capture content can also now be sorted or filtered within the markups list. So I can just go over here, over to the Capture area, and I can also filter and just select the ones that have Capture media on them. And I can export them out into a summary as well. So I'm going to export them to a Capture summary. I can attach the media as linked files if I need to, but I'm just going to have it set as the default here. And it's going to make a nice PDF summary that has all of the picture, all of the Capture media that I had in that document. Really great new feature. So moving back into my slide deck here. So the best way to streamline processes throughout the project lifecycle is with our document-based collaboration system, Studio. And there are several key enhancements to both the real-time collaboration portion, Studio Sessions, as well as the light document management system portion, Studio Projects. So let's take a look at these enhancements, starting with Studio Sessions. So Studio Sessions with Revu 2015, you can now schedule session end dates. In previous versions, you used to have to set up a reminder to yourself to go into the session and basically kick everybody out. But now when you're setting up a session, the dialog box includes an option to click Session Expires, and you're all set. Revu will send reminders that your session will be ending and a confirmation when the session is ended. If you want to lengthen the session duration, you can do so at any point in time. If your session ends but you realize that you needed it to not do that yet, you can always restore it and add more time to the session. And if you have any sessions that are created from a Studio project, you can also update the project copy of those files without having to end the session. Just right-click to update the latest version of the file, and it will be available to everyone downstream, ensuring everyone is working with the most up-to-date information. Next, with Studio Projects, we have several big changes for 2015, and it makes it even more useful as a light document management system. The most requested feature is the ability to set folder permissions on a folder-to-folder basis within Studio Project. So now you don't have to create separate projects for different users or groups to limit their access to certain folders. Just set up your project and assign individual folder permissions for specific groups or users. You can even hide the folders so that certain team members can't even see that they exist. In Revu 2015, you can also share links to specific Studio projects with two specific Studio project files with people that you don't want to add to the project. To do this before, you used to have to keep downloading the latest copy of a file and emailing it directly over and over again. Now you can share a link to download that file, and it's always going to be the most up-to-date one from the server. So, plus, as an administrator, you can set an expiration date right out of the gate or you can manually expire the links that you shared down the line. It's a fairly big request from our customers, and it's a little nod to the solutions like online document storage systems. Some other improvements that we have, you can now change your registered Studio email address. We also have at-rest file encryption so that when a file is stored in Studio, it's marked as encrypted when it's checked back in. And the last one you guys may not notice as much, but our upload speeds have been improved. Next, we've also made some updates to Studio Go. It's a feature of Revu for iPad. The most noteworthy change to Studio Go is that it dramatically accelerates rendering speeds on the iPad without modifying the original PDF. So users can still mark up PDFs as normal, and it's free for all Studio users on the iPad. Also, background syncing is now possible so that users can continue working while files sync within Document Manager. A little animated indicator will let you know when the syncing is done. And also, users can now hyperlink to folders instead of just to individual files. So for Revu 2015, we've made some updates to a couple of our additional core features as well. So in Revu 2015, you can now export scanned documents to Microsoft Word or Excel and have them show up as editable text. You can also export sections of a document, such as an index table or price schedule, to Excel without having to export the entire document. And lastly, with digital signatures, we have a new digital signatures panel that will automatically be prompted to open when you open up a PDF with digital signatures on it. From here, you can easily see who signed the document and jump to where that signature was placed so that you don't have to waste time hunting for the signatures. Those were a ton of new features of Revu 2015. Thanks, you guys, for attending. I'm now going to open up the floor for any questions that we may have during the chat window or any other questions that people may have. Angela, do we have any questions?
Hi there. Yes, we did. One of them, excuse me, is in regards to the slip sheeting and whether or not that can be done inside of a studio session or a project. The answer is you cannot do it on a studio session, but you do have the ability to use the batch slip sheeting within a studio project. It's good to note, though, this batch slip sheeting is exclusive to Revu Extreme. So in order to run that, you need to have a copy of Revu Extreme.
That is the only feature that we showed that was Revu Extreme only. All the other ones are just Revu Standard.
Right. And we had another question just about how spaces work, and I'm going to be following up on that question. Basically, the question is, how does Revu know where to place the copied text? I believe that is running off of the coordinates on the document, and there was also a question about the viewports and copying those over. So I am going to follow up on that and get an answer. But those were the only questions that we had so far.
Cool. Well, we'll keep the line open now if anyone has any other questions so that we can answer those as well.
There's a great one from Carrie. Is there any thought of being able to add hyperlinks to sessions?
You want to take that one, Angela?
I'm sorry. Sure. So I guess, Carrie, just a little bit more information. What specifically are you looking to do? Do you just mean within a session being able to add hyperlinks to a document? Because that is absolutely possible. Sean has a question about sharing this demo. Great question, Sean, one that I can answer right away. This demo is being recorded and will be shared with CAD1, and we will be sure to have CAD1 send this out to all of you who have attended so that you can go back and rewatch or share the link with others. There's also a ton of great information available on our website. Not only do we have information on what's new in Revu 2015, there's also some specific training videos that go over a lot of the different features as well. So if you're looking for more information, we always recommend checking out our website. And CAD1 is also an excellent resource for any of the information that you are looking for on Bluebeam. They're an excellent partner of ours. So if you have any questions, Drew has put up their information, please reach out to CAD1, and they are definitely able to assist you.
Awesome. Any other questions from anybody?
Just an update to Carrie. So to be able to add hyperlinks from a plan to a specific section or between PDFs. So we do have hyperlinking functionality. I'm not sure that you can link to a separate session, mostly because that has to do then with permissions, and you would have to have someone, invited to both of those sessions. But we do absolutely have hyperlinking functionality, whether it is a manual process, so setting up, one individual hyperlink at a time, or using a copy of Extreme, we have our batch hyperlinking functionality. That was something released in Review 12 that allows you to go ahead and run, much like the batch comparison, you can do that for the batch hyperlinking and hyperlink your documents very, very quickly. Can you add a special rubber stamp to plan sets? Yes, not specifically a rubber stamp, but we do have different stamps within the program. Those we have preloaded, but you also have the ability to create some custom stamps as well. You can also have dynamic stamps that will pull in, today's date and that type of thing. And again, all of that information, or more information, I should say, is available on the website and also from CAD1. There's a question. We did a bid on a project on which the client specified Bluebeam compatibility. Suggestions for getting a head start. Yes, absolutely. Stephen, we have a 30-day free trial of the software. You can get that information from CAD1, and they can supply that for you. I would highly recommend downloading a 30-day trial. It's a full working copy of the software, so that you can start to get familiar with it and see if it's going to serve the purpose that you're looking for. In terms of other resources, as you said, we have the website. CAD1 is a great resource, again, in terms of offering assistance with getting things up and running. And we also have a great technical support team. So we highly recommend purchasing our optional maintenance, and that gets you premium technical support, so you can speak to one of our representatives who are available from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. To help with that. We also offer different training resources. We have an online university program that you can, it's a one-year subscription, all sorts of different resources. Another question, someone has a QC process that requires signatures through different levels. Yes, so we have the ability for you to use digital signatures. You can add signature fields. You can also verify and certify those. One of the great things is once you place a stamp or a signature, Review will basically take a snapshot of that PDF in time and verify the signature at that time by placing a green check mark. If that document is sent out and anything is changed after that signature has been placed, that check mark will go away and will then show that the document has been altered since that stamp or that signature had been placed. So some great ways to track that information as well. Can we add sheets to a PDF inside a session? Yes. So you have the ability, well, let me preface that by saying you have to have the ability within the session given to you by the administrator to be able to add files. That is something that can be granted to different users. And so, yes, you have the ability to add sheets in that sense. Let's see. We want to add one page to an existing PDF. So basically, you have a set that you're trying to add a sheet to, is what I'm taking that to mean. Yes, in a session. Okay. So, Drew, maybe you could open up a session. Again, you would have to have, so the way that the documents are uploaded, so I have, actually this is probably not the best example. If I have a session, do you have a session, Drew, that has a set?
I don't.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Sure.
Carrie, why don't we do this? Just in the interest of time, we can take a look at this offline, but I think that's a great question, being able to upload a set and then, adding a file. Again, you would have to have permissions because that is something that would require permissions, but it's basically like replacing a page. And so let's take that offline and we can follow up with you directly and work through that one. Oh, sorry, Taylor. Perfect. I have your email address, and I will follow up with you. Perfect. Are there any other questions?
Sorry, I might have one more question on my end. Let me see 1 second.
Yep.
Is there a specific, they should be sending them directly to you, the questions to you, right, Angela?
So there's a question and answer window.
Okay.
There's also a chat function, but yeah, use the question and answer window.
Oh, I think that they were just trying to ask questions over the phone.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, with the webinar, all the participants are on mute, so you have to type in the questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So just wanted to let everybody know that, as I mentioned, the webinar is recorded, and we're going to be, giving that to CAD1, who will be sending that out to everybody. It's also going to be on their YouTube channel and on their website. So if you don't get it emailed, please just go and check out those two places, and you can get a copy of this. They also have monthly Bluebeam training classes that they offer, so that's a really great way for anybody that has additional questions or anything that they can reach out to CAD1, and they're more than happy. Sean has a question. They have a two-party system. Is there a way two people can review and mark up plans at the same time? Yes, so Sean, that would be using the Studio Sessions. Studio Sessions allows you to upload PDF files, and you can invite up to 500 users to participate in a session either at the same time or on their own time. The only person that has to have a paid copy of Revu is the person who starts the session. Everybody else who joins just needs to have our free viewer, which is called View. It's just VU, and that's available just on the website. It's great because you can have, as I said, up to 500 people all working on the same document at the same time, but there is security that's built into it. And so the markups that are placed by other users are locked, meaning that even as the administrator, I do not have the ability to make any changes to those markups. So it really keeps track of everything that's happening. There is a chat feature, so you can communicate back and forth by sending instant messages, and you can notify users. So if you are working on a project and you have a question, you can place your markup, and by, as Drew is showing, right-clicking, there is an alert function, and you can alert someone else to the fact that you have, put this question out there. It's going to send them an email and let them know that they have something that needs their attention within that studio session. Again, the studio sessions are for PDF documents only, but a really, really powerful tool for being able to, share all of that information while maintaining the security and integrity of a document. And just to mention, the other piece of that is Studio Projects. That's really like a light document management system, and where Studio Sessions allows you to upload PDF documents, Studio Projects allows you to upload any kind of document. This, again, you can have, Excel files, Word files, PDFs, and this works, again, like a light document management system, giving you the ability to, again, invite people to participate. But in this scenario, it would be a check-in and check-out functionality. So you can only have one person working on a document at one time. It's locked for everybody else, but you have version control. You can see the revision history and all of those types of things. So Studio really is a huge piece of Bluebeam Revu that, again, comes with every license that is sold. It is not an additional cost, and just it's my favorite piece of the software. I don't think that we have any other questions, but I did want to just close by letting you all know that Stan Hennig is the primary contact at CAD1, should you have any questions at all about those Bluebeam training classes, or about Bluebeam Revu at all, we will be sure to get his information, but just so that you know, he can be reached at area code 303-427-2231, and his extension is 114. Again, it's Stan Hennig at CAD1. And Drew, I will pass the torch back to you.
Cool. Thanks, Angela. So thanks, everybody, for joining. As Angela said, you can reach CAD1. I have their contact information up on the screen, and 303-427-2231 and extension 114. Thank you guys for all joining. Again, Drew Finkel from Bluebeam. Thank you, Angela, for helping me answer all the questions that popped up, and thank you, everybody, for joining today. And have a great rest of your day.